The Bepanthen Baby Clinic on Ireland AM, sponsored by Bepanthen Nappy Care Ointment for gentle and effective protection every day.
You're very welcome back to Ireland AM. Now, it's very important to instill healthy eating habits into your children from infancy, and this morning dietitian Sarah Keogh joins us with her top tips and advice on how parents can make the best nutritional choices for their baby and set them on the right path. Good morning to you, Sarah. I mean, when we're hearing all these reports in the newspapers and yesterday, like, that we are going to have youth obesity, one of the worst in Europe. So it's never too early then to start
Definitely
good habits in your children.
And really from the very beginning we need to start off with some really good habits. So what we were just going to have a look at today was some of the different things that we can get started on. I mean, some very, very simple things that we can do straight on with kids. The crucial thing is getting lots of flavours in early and then getting lots of textures in as quickly as possible. And if you can do that before your baby's about 18 months old, you have a huge start on avoiding fussy eating in kids and getting them to healthy.
What age are we talking about starting this?
You can start weaning a baby from 4 months.
4 months?
Absolutely not before 4. Their bodies just aren't ready. But from 4 months, you can start giving them solid foods.
Right.
And, you know, things like fruit and vegetables are a brilliant place to start. And then you can quite quickly move on to things like chicken and fish and beef and things like that.
See, people would probably be afraid to give a piece of chicken to a child because they're thinking, oh, the child will choke on that or wouldn't be ready for something like that.
It's not, I wouldn't hand somebody sort of a slice of chicken at 4 months,
no,
but you can puree it and bring it up. But even as you said, if we go on and have a look at sort of some of the finger foods, like from babies 6-7 months on can be eating finger foods and they are ready for them.
All right.
To do
so what are you going to show us this morning?
What I was going to do, this is one that I loved, which is what we'd always refer to as sort of emergency fast food. And sometimes we think if we're bringing babies out, what can we do with them? And this is just a fabulous thing that we would have done with kids quite a lot, even with my own children, which is just mashed apple and avocado. And you literally, they're very easy things to throw into a nappy bag or a kid's food bag when you're going out. And if you just take a minute, mash them kind of up together. Yeah. And very simple baby food for a child who's maybe 6-7 months who's ready for mashed foods. You can puree it up a little bit more. You can add a little bit of liquid to it. Even a child over 6 months, a little bit of yogurt if you actually wanted to blend it up. And then once that gets in nice and smooth, there's a lovely mixture of a little bit of sweetness, which babies unfortunately like. We do love.
You do like.
But there is the avocado, so there's lovely healthy fats and so on with that. So that's just a really, really quick, very handy meal to bring out for babies and even at home.
Now
as well.
you have some tips here which we're going to show our viewers at home, and this is how to prevent, you think, how to prevent fussy eating. Offer babies a wide range of different foods.
And this is it. Babies up to about 18 months, they are really open to trying new food.
Yeah,
Mightn't
because
like
they don't know.
That's it. But they actually find once you hit about 18 months, their sort of interest in new food shuts down.
Right.
So you really need to have gotten them into.
Does it at 18 months they sort of know what they like and they know what they don't like?
They call it neophobia, so fear of the new. So once they hit about 18 months, that happens, and it's a lot harder to get a child to take a new food at that age.
Wow.
Whereas if you can start at 6 months where you're giving them avocado, where you're giving them cheese, where you're giving them tasty and really well-flavoured foods, you get that in before they hit the 18-month window, and then it's a lot easier to keep them eating a wide variety of foods as they get older.
Wow, that's very interesting. Now, include babies at meal times, because you used to say they learn by watching you eating, and with the whole family there, if a child's sitting there watching all that, they're taking it all in.
Absolutely, and it's so important for them to learn eating is not just about getting nutrients into your body. For us, I mean, let's face it, it's very social, so it's really about sitting down, it's about seeing how other people eat, how they use their knife and fork, what foods they're eating, what colours, what mixtures. If a baby is only ever handed, you know, a banana to eat, they don't know about any other foods, but if they can sit down socially, they progress. And lots of parents will say, oh, my baby wouldn't eat it, but one day they sat up and pulled it off my plate. And that happens so much. They get interested in what you're doing.
And you're also saying let the babies mess. Like you have stuff here, like, so let them put their hands into the bowl,
and
let them put them in finger food
like
that, and let them throw it, let them put it in their hair,
I mean,
like, because it's all experimenting for them.
But it's all learning. We see, we can look at that carrot and without even really thinking about it, we already know what it's going to feel like if we pick it up, but a baby doesn't. They've got to learn, what does that feel like, smell like, look like, taste like, what's it like when it's rubbed in my hair, all of that sort of thing, and they need to do that.
And as you sort of say, let them see you eating different foods. And so we were looking at these, so what ages would you be sort of little giving the children these type of things?
You can start to give them soft finger foods, even from
like little bits of cheeses
months.
And little bits of soft carrots.
I mean,
like
it depends on where they've started. You're going to start with a puree. You know, any time between 4 and 6 months, they must have started eating by 6 months. So you're going to start on a puree, but at 6 months, if you're only starting there, quickly get through to the mashed foods and so on. But most babies by 6, 7, 8 months are ready for soft cubes of cheese, and then they can move on to other things. A lot of them will suck toast. That's toast with peanut butter, smooth peanut butter on it.
So you can literally hand them that. So let them just nibble on that.
And they don't need teeth. They don't have to be able to chew it. The gums are quite hard. Now you need to stand beside a baby. If you're giving them solid foods like that, you need to be there in case they do choke.
Because people are afraid of that. But you also say that children will gag on these things, but that's just a natural thing.
Yes, gagging actually is normal and natural, and what you've got to do is not panic. And the thing I'd always say to parents is if you can hear them coughing, it means there's air coming in, so they're not choking. So the coughing is okay, and you'll find most babies, if they've coughed and gagged, they'll just pick up the next food and carry on, and you've got to let them.
And then the fruit and vegetables here, obviously if we start giving them, if they start to get a liking for them, you're on a winner.
And that's it is, and it's just to keep going and to remember that it takes most children 5 to 15 tries to like a new food.
Really?
So even if you give them,
just
keep giving them, because I know giving my children, when I first gave them parsnip and carrots, there was faces made.
Yeah.
We just kept doing it, and after a week or two, they were really happily eating it. So it's just not to stop just because they spit or they don't like it at the start.
And
just
then
keep going.
Healthy weight gaining for a child over those months?
To be honest, it's so different for one child to another.
Right.
But really, as long as they're not suddenly becoming very large, you'll often have children in, you know, you have the clothes and you say, well, my child is 6 months old, but he's in 6 to 9 months or 9 to 12. You know, if they were heading into maybe 18 months, you might have a look. But the public health nurses will weigh babies, and they do come round and check. So that is something that we do keep an eye on. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Babies are good on what they need to take.
Now, you're going to have a little clinic, and we're going to invite viewers to send in their queries. So if you'd like to ask Sarah any query you have about your child's nutrition, we want you to text AM followed by your question to 53131. So text AM followed by your query to 53131, or email irelandam@tv3.ie, and Sarah will get through as many as she can online after 12 o'clock today, because I know there'll be lots of parents out there looking for advice, and some very interesting advice there. Thank you very much for coming in this morning. It's back into studio.
The Bepanthen Baby Clinic on Ireland AM, sponsored by Bepanthen Nappy Care Ointment, for gentle and effective protection every day.